Today, Pauline has lost her voice, so I'll do this small segment as we move towards Easter. When I was 20, I worked for the Box Hill Electric Supply Company, and this company supplied electricity to a couple of Melbourne suburbs. So much of our work was routine, predictable, but we also had to handle the complaints from the public that we were serving. And I remember one elderly lady, who complained again and again, and her complaint was that the street light outside her house had gone out, and she relied on that street light to give her some sense of security, and also it shone into her house in a helpful way. So we did all the testing things. We ran the street lights during the day, and we went to her house and it was on. Then we thought maybe this is an intermittent fault, and so we got the very big truck that could go right up to the street light, and we replaced the bulb. But the lady kept ringing. She said, "Why don't you fix that light? I rely on it." And so our supervisor went to see her, and he went into the house with her, and he said, "Just explain to me, we think the light's working, but what is the problem?" Well, she said, "I can tell you why it isn't working, because when it works, it shines straight in my lounge room window and right across my lounge, and the light also lights the passage, and it's a great help and comfort to me at night, and it hasn't been on for at least a month." And so our supervisor went to the window to see the exact location of the street light, and he said, "Excuse me, this blind is down." And the old lady looked shocked. "Well, I think I pulled it down a month ago, and I forgot to put it up." And that was the problem, you see. Not the street light, but the fact that she had pulled down a blind in her house and forgotten about it, and that had stopped the beams of the street light coming into her house and giving her that comforting light. I often think of that small incident, particularly in relation to life. You know, so many people are depressed now, and there's so much bad news for individuals and for the planet and for individual countries. Well, how can you be cheerful in that situation? How can you be positive? And a depressed person is a person who just can see gloom, nothing good. Now, I've been wondering if it's not a little bit like that lady. Now, what about if the real problem was that we were sitting in our lives and the blind was down, so that things of beauty, things of joy, we just couldn't see them? The problem is not that they're gone away. The problem is we can't see them because we've shut them out, like the lady with the blind. What is it that's stopping us from seeing anything beautiful, anything joyful? Well, it could well be the fact that we are harboring thoughts of anger and resentment towards other people, perhaps quite legitimately, that we've been hard done by. But if we allow these thoughts to capture our minds, it's like pulling down a blind, and we can't see anything good because our view of the world is absolutely shaded and dark. Or alternatively, particularly for people as they get older, they think remorsefully of things they should have done or things they should not have done, and begin to judge themselves. So people or circumstances that have been bad for us, unfair, let them go. Don't dwell on them, because that is like pulling down a blind in your mind. That will obscure the beauty that is around. And as for your life, like my life and every other life, has mistakes, but they are in the past and they're not meant to hinder today. And in the Christian faith, we believe implicitly that we are forgiven for all of those things, and I'm sure that's in other faiths as well. There is no point in dwelling on the past. It's like pulling down a blind. Well, my suggestion is pull up the blind. Look at the world through eyes of love, and look at yourself through eyes of love, because we are all loved and we are all forgiven, and with clear sight we can see the beauty around us and in other people. That's my hope. That's a good thing to think about at Easter.